السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله رب العالمين، وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على سيدنا وحبيبنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا، ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. اللهم صل وسلم على سيدنا محمد مفتاح باب رحمة الله، عدد ما في علم الله، صلاة وسلاما دائمين بدوام ملك الله، وعلى آله وصحبه عدد كل ذرة ألف مرة. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك وأنعم وأكرم على سيدنا وحبيبنا وشفيعنا وقرة أعيننا محمدا عبده ورسوله الذي أرسله الله تعالى إلى كافة الناس بشيرا ونذيرا وداعيا إليه بإذنه وسراجا منيرا. وبعد. Dear community members, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I come with you today with our pre-Jum'ah reflections. As all of you know that we have a very limited Jum'ah congregation where we have a very minimal short khutbah and then the prayer because of the situation, the current situation, and due to the fact that we have to do many Jum'ah prayers. So inshallah, until we don't fully open up, we will continue with our pre-Jum'ah reflections, inshallah. Today I wanted to share a few verses and perhaps one or two ahadith that I want us to really embody these teachings of our of our beloved God, of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah's beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, from his teachings to us. And these verses or these sayings of our Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam are not something that we have never heard them before. We have heard them and heard them many times. And we have heard them in particular on our Friday khutbahs. For those who are Arabic speaking and Arabic understanding people, they would quickly remember how many times I've heard this in the khutbah. But nonetheless, all of us hear these verses, and even these verses are also mentioned by other people out of our faith and our tradition. It's so remembered, and so many times is mentioned. These things are mentioned that it's hard to deny and it's hard to forget. But the thing is that I want us to really try to embody them and to put them to a practice and make it practical. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Ali Imran, chapter 3, verse number 102. Verse 102 in chapter 3, Ali Imran, the family of Imran. We heard this verse in particular every Jum'ah, almost every Jum'ah. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. The following verse, واعتصموا بحبل الله جميعا ولا تفرقوا واذكروا نعمة الله عليكم إذ كنتم أعداء فألف بين قلوبكم فأصبحتم بنعمتي إخوانا وكنتم على شفا حفرة من النار فأنقذكم منها كذلك يبين الله لكم آياته لعلكم تهتدون. The brief translation or the loose translation of this verse: O you who believe, have conscious of God. Be conscious of God. Have consciousness of God. Be aware of Allah. Have taqwa, right? The verse taqwa, or this word taqwa, that we just came out of Ramadan, and that was stressed on in regards to our fasting and in regards to the Holy Quran. These two great parts that we reflected on in the month of Ramadan, in those entire 30 days and nights of taqwa, which is the most important outcome of fasting and the recitation of the Quran, or our connection with the Holy Quran. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu taqullah, all who believe, have fear of Allah as he should be feared, as he should be remembered, as he should be in our minds and in our consciousness. وَلَا تَمُوتُنَّ إِلَّا وَأَنْتُمْ مُسْلِمُونَ, and do not die except that you are Muslims, you are from those who submit. وَاعْتَصِمُوا بِحَبْلِ, and hold on to the rope or the cord of God. وَلَا تَفَرَّقُوا, and do not separate or make groups or have ikhtilaf, differences in amongst yourself. وَاذْكُرُوا, and remember the blessings of Allah, alaykum, upon you, when you were enemies of one another, when you were about to slip other person's throat just because you wanted a small meaningless thing, perhaps. As we know from the pre-Islam, the Jahiliyyah, the part of Jahiliyyah, al-Jahiliyyah al-Ula, that they will fight even for a small, why your horse got in front of my horse, right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's blessings upon you that He brought your hearts together. فَأَلَّفَ بَيْنَ قُلُوبِكُمْ, brought your hearts together. And that's something so important. فَأَلَّفَ بَيْنَ قُلُوبِكُمْ فَأَصْبَحْتُمْ بِنِعْمَتِي إِخْوَانًا, and then you became, after being so much to each other's throat and trying to reach to the limits of animosity towards one another, you became brothers of one another by Allah's bounty. بِنِعْمَتِهِ. And there are certain elements of this verse that inshallah in the rest few minutes I would like to reflect on. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in another verse related to gathering the hearts together, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala addresses our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Ya ayyuhan nabiyyu, in Surah Al-Anfal. That's chapter 8, verse 63 and 64. وَأَلَّفَ بَيْنَ قُلُوبِهِمْ, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brought the hearts together. Their hearts, Allah brought them together. لَوْ أَنفَقْتَ مَا فِي الْأَرْضِ جَمِيعًا, if you were to spend everything in this world to bring the hearts together, مَا أَلَّفْتَ بَيْنَ قُلُوبِهِمْ, you will not be able to do so. You will not be able to bring the hearts together if Allah didn't wish and didn't will. Even if you were to spend everything that you had in your disposal. وَلَكِنَّ اللَّهَ أَلَّفَ بَيْنَهُمْ, but Allah brought their hearts together. إِنَّهُ عَزِيزٌ حَكِيمٌ. The next following verse, يَا أَيُّهَا النَّبِيُّ حَسْبُكَ اللَّهُ وَمَنِ اتَّبَعَكَ مِنَ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. O Messenger of God, Allah is sufficient for you and of those people also sufficient to you of those who followed you. Allah is saying this and addressing the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Some reflections on these two verses. Number one is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala shows that the reason one person could be better than the other is based on taqwa. And that's what's stressed on in so many verses. And all the other things that exist around us and within us, those are measures that we can see and we have control and we have something to do with it. And at times, we have nothing to do with it. Certain things. So those two categories. But those things are apparent to us. We can see them, we can visualize them, we can understand them, we can perceive them. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala kept the only one thing that is so important, and what is the measurement of our closeness to God or our being good. Allah kept that secret and not something that we could see and perceive. And that is taqwa. And one of the great scholars say that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has hidden three things in three things. Allah has hidden the status of people from the people. They cannot say that that person is better than that person and that person is less than that person, Allah has kept that in His control. He has not given that to anyone else. He has only kept that with Him. And Allah has kept the second thing. Allah has kept the outcome of any good that a person does in this world, right? He has kept it away. We don't see the outcome of the good that we do. Sometimes we do. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has promised that we will make your life better if you do good in this world. But that's not the objective of doing good. The objective is Allah. And I will come to that. That's the second point. And the third thing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has hidden, so the good and bad, so both of them. And the third is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has hidden the benefits of calamities and trials and tribulations from our eyes. Allah has hidden those three things: a person's status, the outcome of good and evil from the ultimate goal, and the calamities and trials and tribulations that happen. The outcome of these three, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has kept and hidden, and has kept it in His control, and He did not give that control to any of His creation. Other than that, there are apparent the things that we can see. It's in our vision. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that you cannot make those things, your tribe, your race, your lineage, your status. Allah has kept all of those things apparent to us, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has ordered us to not to make those things a reason to make yourself or others look better than others. That's not a measurement. The measurement that Allah has placed, Allah has kept that hidden from us. And that's a wisdom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Innahu azizun hakim. Allah is very generous, and He's hakim, and He's wise. And the wisdom that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has kept in secret in many things, sometimes Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala shows it to certain people and makes it apparent to certain people, but that's not a general rule. But a believer is the one that when he sees that wisdom, he owns it and he takes it and he takes use of it. الحكمة ضالة المؤمن فهو أحق بها فأين وجدها أو كما قال. That the wisdom is a lost beast of a believer. Wherever he finds it, he is more willing. He is more a person that is a person who would be able to take that and use it. Is more suitable for him. So piety is the main thing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made it. التقوى إن الله لا ينظر إلى صوركم ولا إلى أجسامكم ولا إلى ألوانكم ولكن ينظر إلى قلوبكم وأعمالكم. That Allah does not look at your color and all the other things. He looks at your heart and the actions that reflect what is in your heart. Allah looks at the heart and what reflects your heart, and that reflects on your actions. So it's very, very important. Very, very. And that brings me to the hadith of our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Hadith muttafaq alayh. Thereby Bukhari and Muslim. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Al-Muslimu, who is a true believer. We talk a lot about uniting people. Only Allah is the one who will unite people. And Islam, submission has the true lesson and has the true meaning. In history, people have tried so much to define themselves by borders, by color, by race, by ethnicity, by nationality, by different means and different ways. The true way is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has taught us, which is being in a state of submission. وَأَنْتُمْ مُسْلِمُونَ. Don't die except that you are a believer. Not just a believer, but someone who submits. Islam has the true solution for that. And that's the only solution that will bring people together, will unite people together. Al-Muslimu. The Prophet ﷺ said, Al-Muslimu man salima al-Muslimuna min lisanihi wa yadihi. that a Muslim is the one from whose tongue and hands other people are protected. That people are protected from his hands and his tongue. That's what the Muslim definition is, that as our Prophet ﷺ taught us. And that's in a literal meaning, that a person, because these are the two most powerful things, and these are the most important tools that we use to manifest our self, our inside, what's in our heart and what's in our mind, with these two parts of our bodies. So in a literal meaning, yes, it's very true. The way how we speak and the way how we talk to people and the way how we address people and the language that we use and the words that we use in our body and our hands, the way how we deal with people, the way how we give and the way how we earn, the way how we use our hands. So in a literal meaning, but the scholars say that this hadith indicates al-Muslim salim al-Muslimuna, that the Muslims are protected. Here, Muslims, because they are the most important one. There's a ta'kid, there's an emphasis on it. But it has a general meaning that all people are protected from one's hands and one's tongue. And also, not in a very literal meaning, but also in a sense of that, in a general meaning, right? That a person's actions, a person's understanding, the person's thinking, the person's thoughts about other people, he has to be protected. No ill feeling towards other people, especially when it comes to race and nationality and status, where a person lives, people that associate with. All of these things matter and very important. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to let us live those meanings of Ramadan and fasting and the Quran and the taqwa that was required from us, and that we be true believers, and that people are protected from us and they don't become harmful, or they don't become we don't become the means of harming others with our tongues and with our actions. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to let us live this taqwa. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give shifa to all those sick people in our community, in our families, in our country, and elsewhere, those who have been affected by the pandemic in any way, financially or physically or mentally. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give all of them shifa. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give shifa to Brother Nasir Ghori, whose father passed away in Pakistan today. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive his sins and excuse all of his shortcomings. Allah accept all of his good deeds and raise him to the highest ranks in Jannah. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive all of those who passed on to the next world. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us true believers and true Muslims and true beneficial people to others. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salamun ala al-mursaleen walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Jazakumullahu khairan. Just a quick reminder for all of those who are joining us right now, and also please share this with others, that tonight, inshallah, as we had our halaqah last Friday, inshallah, this Friday also we have the same halaqah. It will start right after Maghrib around 8:30ish, so we may be delayed for a few more minutes up to 8:35 because of Maghrib time, and because of the time restriction with our guest speaker, Sheikh Hamza Maqbool from Cleveland, inshallah, a very dynamic speaker who has experience in so many fields, and inshallah the details will be sent out to all of you. So please join us on Zoom, on Facebook, and on YouTube Live, inshallah, this evening at 8:30 for a brief talk, inshallah, with Sheikh Hamza Maqbool. Please spread the word to others. It won't be too long. It will be only up to about 9:10 or 9:05. So please join us, inshallah, and spread the word to others. Barakallahu fikum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jumu'ah mubarakah. Please do not forget to recite Surah Al-Kahf and sending many salawats on our beloved Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam on this day. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.